Good morning and welcome to WSGS Facebook Live. We're here in Hyden, Kentucky for a very, very special event. I'm John Newell along with my sidekick, Rodney Coots. Rodney, a very special day in the life of, in the history of Wesley County, in football history with the unveiling of the statue of Tim Couch.
Absolutely, John. It's a wonderful day, and I just appreciate the opportunity to be here, John, and talk with you. Tim went to high school with him. He was just a wonderful athlete and a pretty cool person.
Well, a lot of folks are filing in. I had a chance to talk to Doug White and his wife. Their son is the one that did the sculpture. They're from Louisville, and so that was a good conversation with him. But I'm going to let you turn over your headset to a friend of mine, and we'll chat a little bit with him. Neil Middleton. Neil Middleton, general manager of WYMT, a long time friend, and you remember the days of covering Tim with TV.
Oh yeah, I was working down in the bureau in Middlesboro, and anytime Wesley County was playing in the area, I was the one that would go shoot the highlights, and there were just crowds everywhere. People that came that, if he was playing at Bell County, I remember shooting a game there. There were fans from Harlan and everywhere else because they just wanted to come see Tim Couch play in person. We did some football games live back then, but not the number that we do now. And you didn't have all the radio stations doing games live. So the only way you could really see him was to come to the game.
That's true. And I tell you, his senior year here at Wesley County will be a year I'll never forget. Being a photographer, I've got tons of pictures of him. And he started in basketball here too at Wesley County. He could have actually played either sport in college, but there's tons of pictures of him, and it's been a joy watching him, especially his senior year. You come here on a Friday night, and there's Coach Former with the Tennessee Volunteers. They bring up busloads of fans, and you look across the way, be nothing but orange over there. And, of course, they were recruiting them pretty heavily. And then the next Friday, it was UK night. And there was Coach Curry with all the UK fans, so it was all blue. I tell you, it's one of those things, Neil, you live through that. It's once in a lifetime.
It really is. And, it's just – and I know Tim's told the story, probably 1,000 times, but he came so close to ending up at Tennessee. We're just grateful that he ended up in blue. But it is, this is a historic day. And you don't have, I told somebody standing outside, might have been you, that, Tim Couch has come around once in a lifetime. It's a generational player, and the Mountains really had not seen a player like that, and maybe not seen one since.
Well, they haven't. That's true. Mike Whitaker excelled quite well, along with Tim's brother Greg. Yeah. And but as far as the caliber player that he was, the records that he broke, and we'll go over them here in a little bit. And who knows if they'll ever get broken. They say records are made to be broken, but I don't know about some of his.
Yeah, I don't know if his records will be broken. And then the thing that I really like about Tim, he's back here in Kentucky and everything, but he's always been committed to Kentucky and to his hometown of Hyden in eastern Kentucky. He's always been a great ambassador for this region and for this town and for this school, and that's never changed. Sometimes that changes. Sometimes fame changes people. It didn't change Tim Couch.
Oh, again, no, it's just a tremendous day. They have a program that we will be carrying live. Excuse me. And then they'll have the unveiling of the statue. They have the football players sitting, as you can tell if the camera's facing that way now, they're on the field, and Tim should be arriving here fairly soon, and got a good lineup and a good program planned for him. And I'm anxious to see that statue. I've seen pictures, but I want to see the real thing.
I haven't even seen pictures. I took some pictures of it covered up outside, and I can't wait to see it.
Is there anything particular that sticks out with you as far as covering Tim when he played? Any particular game or highlight?
Well, I'll always remember, and this isn't high school. In high school, you just had never seen a player like that in high school. But probably the one that sticks out to me, obviously I loved going to the Outback Bowl and playing Penn State. But I'll never forget that Alabama game and that touchdown to Craig Yeast. I was there. I ended up on the field. I touched the goalpost as it was coming down.
Okay.
But I was there, and I'll just never forget that moment. That was the first time, as a Kentucky fan, that I had ever experienced anything like that. And that's the one thing that stands out. But there's just so many memories of him playing. And you talked about basketball. I saw him play, and I shot him playing basketball. And you're right. He could have probably been a two-sport. He could have played both in college if he'd have wanted to. But he focused on football, made the right decision. Number 1 draft pick. You can't beat that.
That's true. But do you feel that, going with the Browns and them being a fairly new team, or what was it, a relocation, I believe?
They were I can't think of the name, but they were coming back in. They were just brought in, and they had some great moments, but Tim just didn't have an offensive line. He just got beat up a lot.
It's untelling what would have happened if he had that line.
I really think that had he gone to a team that was established, like what you see now, could he have made it to a Super Bowl? I know that's rare, but could he have made that, or would he have had in some people's minds, a more illustrious career? I think so. I think he had the talent. I don't think there's any doubt in that he had the talent. He didn't have the pieces around him. One, to protect him in the pocket, and but it was still, I enjoyed. I became a Browns fan for a short time there. So
I still have some paraphernalia from the Browns, and I actually got to go up and watch when they played the Bengals. I think it was the first game of the new stadium.
Yeah,
I got to go up and be at that game, and that was a neat thing and very special.
Yeah, and this is going to be, this is just a special day, and the thing, for fans when they're coming in. But I think about these football players. No matter how young you are, you see that statue, and you look up and you read about Tim Couch, and it's got to give them some, help. Everybody has dreams when they playing in the NFL, but they see that and they say, this guy's from here, and he did that. I can too, maybe.
That's a good point. I think it's a very good point, and it is something they'll look at. And I see a couple players out there with the Browns jerseys on, the number 2 out there.
Yeah.
I had a bobblehead I was going to bring of him in the Browns uniform and him in the UK uniform.
I've got the UK bobblehead. I wanted to try to find another one. I do have one of those. I don't have the Browns.
Yeah, I got the Browns too. But I have something that's kind of unique that probably nobody else has. My wife got this for me for Christmas one time. She got a deck of cards and had Tim's pictures on the back of all the cards, but then she took the number 2 out of the deck of cards and had him sign every single one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if anybody else has that.
No, that's very cool. That's cool.
That's been very special. Well, Neil, anything else that?
No, just looking forward to this. Glad that Leslie County High School would allow WYMT, like WSGS, to be a part of this. We're really looking forward to it. We're going to be carrying it live on WYMT and on television. So, we hope people come watch. But it's going to be a great day, and I'm just excited to see it and excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think they're doing an interview afterwards that they're going to air later on.
We are. Armando Berry, our sports director, is going to have a sit-down interview with Tim, and we'll be putting that exclusively on WYMT.com later today. And then we'll have stories tonight in the 4 and the 6, the coverage. But it's going to be a great day in Leslie County and all of Eastern Kentucky is the way I look at it.
Exactly. I'm anxious to see the board out there, the scoreboard. It's a video board, too. They've got some highlights from him, from his high school and probably college, and maybe even with the Browns in the NFL. So that's going to be kind of neat. Brand new board. This is the first time they've had it, and very nice.
I think we're going to be putting up our cameras on the board for them to use, too, during this ceremony. So,
good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, thank you
Always
very
good
much.
to see you, partner. Appreciate it. I guess
You
we'll
too.
talk again at the Mountain Classic.
I'm sure.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm sure
Take
we will.
care.
Yeah. That's Neil Middleton, general manager there at WYMT. And we'll get Rodney back on here. But again, talking a little bit about Tim, his high school, before Rodney shares some thoughts of his idea. But Tim graduated in 1995. And as I mentioned with Neil, he excelled in basketball and in football as well. And I mentioned to Neil about the times that Friday nights were the all orange and then all blue, and just a fantastic time to live through. But you said you actually played on the football team.
It was actually basketball. We played 2 years of basketball together, back my freshman and sophomore year. And, Tim was just a wonderful athlete. One story, we actually had a gym class together, PE, and I was just kind of picking on him, and he was picking on me, and I told him I was going to stop him, and, well, he hit 13 threes on me. So I kind of keep that on down low. I don't tell many people about that, but he was just
it's over there now.
Yeah, he's definitely a wonderful athlete. I mean, just I would say jump out of the gym, and he could shoot the ball really good. Just a wonderful athlete. Of course, football, like you was talking to Neil about. I remember watching him play on Friday nights here. I mean, it was just the crowds was so big.
The crowds was unbelievable. I mean, the whole stands and all the way around the fence.
Oh, yeah. And I remember seeing the limousine that Phil Fulmer, the coach at Tennessee at the time, had come in a white limo, and I mean, it was huge. And and then, of course, Bill Curry would come here and also watch him play, and which was the UK football coach at the time. But it was just, pretty amazing times. Just seeing the stadium and then the fans was just so wonderful fans. We still have wonderful fans. It was just such huge crowds.
That's once in a lifetime thing. I had the privilege of meeting Coach Fulmer, and I tell you, he was a first class guy, very cordial, and Coach Curry was too. And just two good guys that were just like you and I were talking. That's the way they were.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that in coaches. Folks are following in and got the student body here. I think they even brought in the middle school football players. I'm not sure about the grade school, but at least the middle school. And I'm sure everybody has seen the field, and we'll be getting ready to start here shortly. But before going to Lexington, Couch made history here at Leslie County High School. He set the national record for pass completions at 872. He set the record for passing yards, 12,104. He also set the record for a number of touchdown passes, 133, and winning the National Player of the Year in 1995. As we mentioned, though, he was drafted, or Tennessee tried to recruit him, but he decided to go to the Big Blue. But let's see. Do you have any stats on what he did here in West?
Yeah, some of the things I have
here in Wesley County when he was here in high school.
Of course, the stats you mentioned about the pass completions, yardage, and the touchdown passes, that all was the high school. And then something that really impressed me was during, I think it was a junior season, he completed the passing percentage of 75% of his passes, which is amazing. Of course, he did win the 1995 Mr. Football. And like we also talked about how he was a good basketball athlete, he was actually a finalist for Mr. Basketball. He was there was 3 finalists. There was him, Damian Fishback, and Dan Lange. And I believe Damian Fishback from Greenwood won that Mr. Basketball. But pretty amazing athlete to be a finalist and for Mr. Basketball. And then of course he won the Mr. Football award. I
wonder if that's ever been the same person as won both of them.
I don't know, but that will definitely be
that's a history. You need to ask Harold Brashear or Ryan Farmer may know that, and Anthony Bersalia. I saw Anthony and Harold going at each other, not physically, but as far as the things in the past, history. I tell you, both them two guys are history buffs. They know, I think, everything there is in history and sports.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about going way back. But again, as we mentioned, Tim went from here to play at UK as when Bill Curry, under Coach Curry, the deuce was turned loose under Hal Mumme. I think Bill Curry was there, his freshman year?
Yes.
And then Hal Mumme took over, and that's when it became the air raid. And in the air raid offense, Couch shined, breaking 7 NCAA records, 14 SEC records, and 26 school records. He finished his college career, which was 3 years, with 795 completions in 1,184 attempts. And look at that percentage, 67.1%.
Really good percentage.
For college, for 8,435 yards and 74 touchdowns. And in 1998, Couch was a Heisman finalist, a consensus first-team All-American, and SEC Player of the Year. And the most recent honor given to him was he was inducted into the College Hall of Fame.
That is a very, very special accomplishment. If you make the College Football Hall of Fame, I mean, you're a wonderful athlete. You had a very successful college career, and he did.
I heard the interview with him. I'm not sure who did it. Somewhere there in Lexington, and he said each year he would look and maybe it's going to be me, maybe it's going to be me. Finally, he said he just kind of gave up and said, "Well, yeah. I guess I'm not going to get that honor." And boom, here it is. And then we're here today again to unveil the statue that was made, and we're anxious to see it. I guess we're kind of waiting on the hero or the honoree to be here, and again probably got held up in the traffic over there.
Actually, I seen him come in just a little bit ago. He's over there talking to some different individuals near the concession stand, so he's actually here. I think he put up in the black vehicle there, John. So he's definitely good to have our athlete Tim Couch here.
Exactly, and the whole student body's here to enjoy this time. The football players on the field. If you're looking at the field right now, those behind the podium are the sponsors and coaches, former coaches, and just a good time to be a Wesley County fan and be part of this history. What else do you have there?
I've got a few more stats in reference to his college, and also I've got a few things about his NFL career also. Going along with what John said, he also held the NCAA record for completion percentage in one game. It was a minimum of 40 completions for 83% against Vanderbilt. He was 44 of 53 in 1998. And then he also held, of course, the most NCAA record for completions in a season, 400. Can you imagine 400 passes completed in one season? That's pretty. That's kind of unfathomable. And then he also had some. Let me go. Let's see. He also had 4,151 offensive yards in a season that stood for 9 years in the Southeastern Conference until Florida's quarterback Tim Tebow broke it. And then in his 1998 total of 4,275 yards passing was SEC record until broken by Joe Burrow of LSU, which Joe Burrow was a great athlete.
So does he still have some records that are still there that nobody's broken yet?
I'm not for sure, but at the time he definitely had some great records.
Oh my goodness! Everybody said he always put UK on the map. Oh, really? UK football.
Do you remember also? He was also a Heisman finalist, also, which is a pretty great accomplishment, also in '98. And then of course he was the SEC Player of the Year in '98 and first team All-American in 1998. And then he was second team All-SEC in '97. Looking at his stats, he had 37 touchdown passes in '97, and he had 36 in '98. So he had, great junior season, great sophomore season, great junior season. Because I know after his junior year, he left and went pro, and that's when he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns.
Well, here's some of his accomplishments. As we mentioned, 4 high school national passing records. Kentucky Mr. Football 1995. We didn't mention this. Gatorade National High School Player of the Year 1995.
Yes.
ESPN Top 10 High School Athlete of all time. And you hear the fans clapping. Tim is making his way across the field with his good buddy Mike Whitaker and his girlfriend behind. And that's probably his son there with him. And I was actually hoping his uncles would be here today. I tell you, they were faithful followers of him. Let me get their names here. Herman and Martin Johnson. They're from Jenkins. And every football game, Rodney, they'd be in the end zone watching the game. They wouldn't be up here in the stands. They'd be in the end zone. Every single game, whether it was home or away, they were here. But getting back to some of his records, NFHS National High School Hall of Fame class of 2021, 7 NCAA passing records, 14, you may repeat, I may be repeating you.
Oh, you're good.
14 SEC passing records, 26 University of Kentucky school records, 26.
It's amazing.
In 3 years. 1998 Consensus College All-American, 1998 SEC Player of the Year. You mentioned the Heisman finalists, and again inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in the class of 2024. 1999 number 1 NFL draft pick. As we know, he went to the Cleveland Browns. 1999 NFL All-Rookie Team. So we're kind of waiting on Tim to get seated down there, and got a bunch of dignitaries down there in the field and former coaches. I see, as we mentioned, Mike Whitaker, Anthony Whittle is down there. He's a former coach. Who else do we have down there? I know Fred Bashir did a lot on the sidelines, working with the offense. Of course, Eddie Melton, the present coach, who played with Tim.
He did. He played with Tim.
And he's going to be sharing some remarks here today, too, as well. But just a lot of folks there. Brett Wilson, the Wesley County Superintendent. Another player down there, Scott Brock's dad and brothers here. And
Correct.
That is so special. Jeff Brock and Thurlow Brock, people I've known very well. They were members of our church when they were in the area, and it's so neat to see them here, knowing that Scott was a very good friend of Tim, and of course he was killed in an auto accident, but that's pretty special. And Tim out there just gave Thurlow a hug and Jeff a hug, and that's got to be heartwarming right there.
Absolutely.
And of course, he's making his rounds back there, and we're waiting. This thing was supposed to have started at 10:30. Joel Brashear is our MC today, doing the talking and introducing the different ones. As we mentioned, former head coach Anthony Whittle will be not speaking, but he'll be introduced. Fred Bashir, he was assistant and offensive coordinator for the Eagles for a long time, and former head coach and now assistant coach. And it's neat that Mike Whitaker is back with the Wesley County Eagles.
It is.
As the offensive coordinator, and that's special. And of course, as you mentioned, Eddie Melton, he'll be speaking. Let me mention too that they'll be watching a video at the career of Tim Couch, and then Alan Rice and Jerry Rice hosted the Eagles Nest. They were the ones that coordinated this effort to raise the funds, and they did tell me, Rodney, that they don't quite have enough to pay for the statuette, statue. So if anybody out there would like to donate to that, be sure to get up with the Rice boys, and they'll be glad to take your donation. But following that, the sculpture was Patrick Duncan White. As I mentioned, I met his mom and dad, very fine folks, and from Louisville, and they're impressed with the area and with the field and everything here. The masonry was Roger Smith. Let's see, Mark Collett, the assistant principal and athletic director here at Wesley County now, Merlene Lewis, the principal, and they'll be recognizing a lot of those who had a part in making this thing possible to have a statuette. I don't know of any area right here in eastern Kentucky that actually has a statuette or a statue of a player right there on the field.
That's true, and also here at the field, John, they have the very big eagle, which is made locally here, and I mean it's one of the largest eagles I've ever seen in person. That's made with looks like, I'm assuming, metal, but it's definitely a great icon here at the football field.
Right, two other folks just came in. Tim's brother Greg, along with her mom Janice, and she was presented with a bouquet of flowers. That's pretty neat.
That's great.
But Greg with his wife, and Janice was another faithful one.
We're set up here.
Okay, they were.
Yeah, that's a great picture of the eagle there.
Well, you're looking at the video board, huh?
Oh yeah.
Michael Dwayne over here has got this thing all set up and doing a tremendous job.
He does a great job.
Oh my goodness! And Robbie down there on the cameras. Mike was here before 8:30. I got here at 8:30. He was already here setting this thing up. He said, "Now you know what it takes to set this thing up." I mean, we ran cables, wires, and
they are the unsung heroes, John.
Unsung heroes. And we're going to try to get a feed from WYMT when they unveil the statue. And I hope sometime after that, that we'll try to get an interview with Tim if at all possible.
Yeah, that would
I'd
be
like to
great.
talk with him. Oh, we're still waiting on Joel to take the mic. Anything else you want to add?
I was just talking to someone before we got on there, and we were just talking about how, back when we was in high school, how muddy the fields was. It wouldn't have been wonderful if we had a field like this today, the turf field. Because, those muddy days and stuff, they still would have games. And with the turf field, you can still play even though it's muddy or a little bit wet.
Now you know the hard times that we had up here trying to pick those players out.
Oh, absolutely.
That was hard with mud on them and not knowing who they were.
Oh, absolutely.
I believe we are about ready. I think YMT is going to be doing some of the intros. Can't think of that guy's name with YMT, the sports announcer. Quite a crowd. Quite a crowd.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Armando Berry with WYMT, and welcome to the Tim Couch statue dedication at Leslie County High School. For all our audience watching on WYMT, we are broadcasting live from Hayden, Kentucky, and we're just getting underway as we start with Joel Brashear.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hayden, Kentucky. As he said, my name is Joel Brashear. It is an absolute privilege for me to be talking to you today on this wonderful event, just like it was a privilege to play football with Tim all those years ago. Now, to say that I played football with Tim is about like the fly that rode on the saddle of Secretariat. I had nothing to do with the success, but I enjoyed the ride and had a heck of a view. But as I said, it's a great day today on behalf of the Les County Board of Education, the high school, and everybody in Hayden. Welcome and thank you for coming. We are here to honor one of Leslie County's greatest sons, Tim Couch. Tim was a student athlete at Leslie County from 1992 to 96. And if you were here in those days, you know the level of excitement felt right here every Friday night. My Uncle Lynn, who was maybe the biggest Eagle fan ever, actually compared it to being on tour with Elvis. And it's fantastic to see that same level of excitement here today. I know that everyone here is proud of Tim and happy that you're here. And at this time, I would ask Miss Brooke Melton Campbell to sing My Old Kentucky Home.
The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by, hard times comes a-knocking at the door. Then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home. for my old Kentucky home far away.
Thank you, Brooke. You can have a seat. We're fortunate to have some of Tim's former coaches with us today, and they would like to say some things. We'll start with former Leslie County head coach Anthony Little.
Good morning, everyone. Not as tall as some of these guys. Looking around and talking with Coach Melton here too, he was hoping that maybe Tim and Greg still had some eligibility left with the rash of injuries we've had here. Looked like they both could still play. Folks, it's a tremendous honor to stand here before you today for this ceremony unveiling a statue honoring Tim Couch. And it's only fitting that this coincides with Tim just being named to the College Football Hall of Fame. Tim Couch is a true icon in Kentucky and a shining example of what hard work, dedication, and a whole lot of talent can achieve. His contributions to our football program, the University of Kentucky, are immense. As a former coach, I had the privilege of witnessing firsthand his incredible athletic ability, his unwavering determination, and his leadership both on and off the field. But what truly set Tim apart was his character. He was a role model for his teammates, he was a leader in the community, and he was a positive influence on those around him. Today we honor him for not only his athletic accomplishments, but for the man he is. His induction into the College Football Hall of Fame is a testament to his greatness on the football field. And this statue will serve as a lasting reminder to his legacy. On behalf of the Leslie County School District, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to Tim, to Greg, to Janice for your contributions to Leslie County football and this entire community. Thank you all. I truly wish that your father could be here to witness this event. I knew Albert well, and I know how very proud he was of both Tim and Greg, and he told me numerous times. I wish he could be here. Guys, the impact that Tim Couch had on the sport of football and this community will be felt for generations to come. Thank you all.
Thank you, Coach. Now please welcome former assistant and offensive coordinator, Fred Brashear.
I want to tell you how thankful and humble I am to get to talk about not only Tim, but Greg. And as I was trying to think about what to say, my mind kept going back to Albert Wayne, dear friend. And there's a story I'm going to tell that nobody knows. Nobody knows because it's just me and him. Greg, when you and Tim were in grade school, Albert would come in and say, "You watch them play? How them boys doing? You think they're doing good? What do you think they're going to do? How good can they be?" And it was very positive and everything like that. He came in, Tim, if I remember correct, you played on the Little League All-Star team one year for us, played third base. I think that's what it was. He asked me, he said, "Can we make it to the Little League World Series?" And I looked at him and I went, "That's a tall task, but we got to play them." But he always was just so proud of you all and everything that you did. And during your all's career, he'd come in on Friday, every Friday. "What's our chances? Were you in good shape?" And I never had the heart to tell him, and I really didn't believe it. We had a chance in every one of those games that you two gentlemen played in. Really did. And so today, I keep Elbert in my mind for the wonderful friend he was and what he was to he loved his family. Got a couple, I'm not going to talk about statistics or anything like that. Just going to tell you a couple of stories. One of them, and Anthony, I think you were the head coach. We were playing Lexington Dunbar at Bryan Station. Don't know if you remember that or not. We were playing them. And I told a bunch of friends, come and watch the game. We've got a quarterback that is going to be special. He is special. So we were warming up. The two guys throwing was Greg and Tim. And they stopped me and said, boy, I can see your quarterback. He said, that number 2 can really play. I went, oh, no. Number 3's our quarterback. He's going to play on Saturdays. He's playing at the next level. So then they said, well, what about number 2? Without thinking, I became a forecaster. I said, he's playing on Sunday. And every time I see that guy, he talks about that. He said, how'd you know that? I said, I didn't know it. I was just hoping it would occur. Next story I've got, Tim, before his junior year, had Wsgs Sports, came in and followed him for a weekend, and it was on the first weekend of August, which is the Osborne Brothers Festival also. So Tim came in and said hi, and I said, we're going to have a reception for Bobby and Sonny Osborne this afternoon. If you can make it, please come. Well, Tim came, and I introduced them, and they had a great conversation and everything. Then the question was asked, Tim, what about our music? Tim, being the great diplomat, said, I love your all's music, but I hate Rocky Top. Well, everybody kind of laughed and went on. So that night, the festival was going on, and I was backstage and came up to Bobby and thanked him because we've got a plaque of the Osborne Brothers in the bank from their Bluegrass Hall of Fame. So I said, Bobby, I really appreciate that. He said, you know something? When Tim said he hated Rocky Top, that kind of hurt my feelings. And I said, well, if you play against Tennessee, you don't like Rocky Top. And he laughed and said, well, it's made me a lot of money. But if I am a Kentucky fan, and if I heard that as a Kentucky fan, it make me sick too. So, that's a great story. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, and we've talked about it to some people, for those that were not alive in 1994 and 1995, there was no greater place to be than Hyden, Kentucky, as we went and played. And the stands, the hillside, every place was taken 2 hours before the game. And if you would look at the cars coming in, it was endlessly, row after row of cars. So when we would come on to warm up on the field, it was very distinctive, the colors that we had on in the stands. Across the way would be the visiting team. When we get to the bottom, it was a total, not orange, but maroon. There also was some blue in there. And yeah, there was some that god-awful orange in there too. But, it was such an excitement. Friday was set aside for the game. The bridge was decorated. town was decorated. It was truly an event. And what we're doing in recognizing Tim for his contribution and for his recent election to the College Hall of Fame, which I think was way too delayed. But we're so proud of him and everything. And I'd like to thank the dream makers that made this occur, and that's Coach Eddie Melton, and also the Rice boys, who also do the Eagle's Nest, which is a great booster. Your dreams and your perseverance is a testimony to what we're going to unveil here shortly. So I thank you all for all you've done. My only other comment that I've got, and I'll bring out the old coach in me, and I'm looking at the football team, and I've already told Eddie this. You're playing Clay County Friday night. Guess what? We haven't beaten them recently. Don't you think it's time that we hang an L on them Friday night on this field? I think that's vital, and guys, you got to go out and do it. They're not going to give it to you. Go take it. Good luck, and Tim, again, congratulations.
Thanks, Dad. Now please welcome former head coach and current assistant coach, Mike Wicker.
Being a former teacher and principal, I know that you all are anxious to get out of this beautiful weather and go back to class, so I'm not going to keep you real long. But I want to tell you that I'm very honored to be here to be a part of this dedication of this statue to one of our very own homegrown Leslie County football legends, Tim Couch. Everybody knows about all the records he broke, high school and college. Everyone knows of his pro career. Everyone knows of his induction in the Kentucky High School Football Hall of Fame, and most recent and well-deserved induction in the College Football Hall of Fame. So I'm not going to talk to you about those things. What I'm going to talk to you about is how a young man from Hyden, Kentucky, in Leslie County High School could achieve such success. So for you young people that are listening that want to be great, want to be successful, then pay attention, okay? Tim was a goal setter. He was a goal setter early on in his career. We had offensive goals, defensive goals, special teams goals. We had our kids write down their individual goals and place them in their lockers so they could see them before they went to practice and when they come back. Tim took it a step further. He taped his goals to the ceiling above his bed. So before he turned the light out at night to go to sleep, he could look at his goals and decide if he had done enough that day to achieve those goals. And when he got up in the morning, he could look at those goals and he could decide or determine what I have to do today to achieve those goals. So if you want to be successful, you want to be great, be a goal setter. Set your goals high like Tim. If you set your goals down here and you achieve those goals, you haven't done very much. But if you set them up here and you strive every day to reach them, but you fall a little bit short, you've achieved so much more than if you set your goals at a lower standard. So if you want to be successful, be a goal setter. The other thing Tim did was he paid attention and concentrated on doing the little things right. The little things make the big things happen. His dedication to doing the little things right rubbed off on his teammates to the point that people would say our offense looked flawless. Well, that was because everyone was doing their job and doing the little things right. His work ethic in football was second to none. He put the time in to learn everyone's assignment on every play. He put the time in to learn how to read defenses and manipulate coverage. He put the time in to learn how to change a play at the line of scrimmage to get us out of a bad play and put his teammates in the best possible position to succeed. And after 2 or 3 hour practices, he would go home and throw a football into trash cans or throw at targets or work on his footwork. So if you want to be successful, you have to put the work in. You have to put the extra work in if you want to be great. It's the work you do when no one else is looking that makes the difference between being good and being great. And Tim put that work in. The other thing Tim did, we always talked about the 3 Ds. You got to possess the 3 Ds. The first D being determination. You have to be determined to not let anything stand in your way of being successful. No excuses. Nothing can stand in your way. You have to be determined to overcome adversity. You have to be determined to get up after you've been knocked down. Tim had that determination. In the first game that he ever started as a freshman in 1992 versus Fleming County in the Appalachian Bowl over at Manchester, he threw 5 interceptions and we lost. He was devastated, thought he had let his teammates down. So what did he do to overcome that adversity? He didn't cry and pout. He worked his tail off to become the most accurate passer in high school football history. That's overcoming adversity. And getting back up when you've been knocked down. In 1993, in the district championship at Breathitt County, they knocked him out of the game, split his chin wide open. We were struggling to keep our lead because we were no threat to throw the ball. They just lined everybody up in the box and stopped the run. So seeing the need to be back out there, even though he wasn't at his best, they stitched him up on the sideline, put a bandage on his chin, and he went back out there. And we won our first district championship in a long time. And it was the first of 3 in a row. And that's determination. That's getting back up when you get knocked down. The second D is dedication. You have to have the dedication to put the work in to be successful. You have to have the dedication to put the work in when you would rather do something else. You have to have the dedication to work on your weaknesses until they're no longer a weakness. Tim certainly had that dedication. And the third D is desire. To be successful at anything, you have to have an intense, burning desire to succeed. You have to have the desire to have the ball in your hands when the game is on the line. Tim certainly had that desire. And I'll close with this. Tim was born with tremendous athleticism. There's no question. But over my years of playing and coaching, I couldn't tell you the number of people that were just as athletic or had more athleticism that never achieved success because they weren't willing to put the work in. I've often said this about Tim, and some people take it the wrong way, but it's meant as an ultimate compliment. Tim was blessed with tremendous athleticism, but he was also an overachiever. And what I mean by that is he worked so hard to be great that his success as a player exceeded his athletic ability. So if you want to be successful and you want to be great, then work to be an overachiever. Be a goal setter. Pay attention to the little things. Have a work ethic that no one else has. Pay attention and understand the 3 Ds. And I guarantee you'll be successful in whatever you choose to do. I'm very, very proud to have been a coach here when Tim was playing. I'm extremely proud of all the accomplishments he's had. And I am extremely proud to be a Leslie County. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. This time, please welcome Tim's former teammate and current Eagle head coach, Eddie Melton.
Thank you. I feel like Fred and Anthony here as far as height in the mic. But I first want to say it's an honor to be a part of the ceremony. I was blessed to be a part of the excitement, the games on a Friday night here in the Tim Couch era. But one of the things I will say that I remember most is about the brotherhood that we had as a team, that Tim shared with his teammates. We all had one goal. That was to succeed. That was to win. I remember on Friday nights, after we played here at home, numerous times we go up Rock House, sitting in the living room with Tim's families and some other players, just getting there so we could watch Sports Overtime, the replay in 1994. It's amazing it's been that long. But one of the best things, though, other than that, was we wake up Saturday morning and Janice fixes breakfast. So, things like that is what I remember. What a humble friend and teammate, that Tim was. So I was blessed to be a part of that, and I'm blessed to stand up here today. And I'm going to read a few of his accomplishments right now. It says, Mr. Tim Couch attended Leslie County High School from 1992 to 1996, where he became one of the most prolific quarterbacks in high school football history. He set numerous school, state, and national passing records. He left an incredible mark on the sport. Tim continued his football journey at the University of Kentucky, where he's still regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. In 1999, Tim was selected first overall by the Cleveland Browns in the NFL draft. This statue is dedicated to the children of Leslie County and all of Eastern Kentucky. Serves as an inspiration to always dream big and work hard. Now, for some of Tim's accomplishments, 4 high school national passing records. Mr. Football, 1995. Gatorade National High School Player of the Year, 1995. ESPN Top 10 High School Athletes of All Time. NFHS National High School Hall of Fame Class of 2021. 7 NCAA passing records. 14 SEC passing records. 26 University of Kentucky school records. 1998 Consensus College All-American. 1998 SEC Player of the Year. 1998 Heisman finalist. College Football Hall of Fame, Class of 2024. 1999, number 1 NFL draft pick. 1999 NFL All-Rookie Team. As you can see, the accomplishments, all things are possible if you work and set your goals like coaches have said before, and that's what Tim did. He made us proud then, he continues to make us proud, and it's an honor to be here, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, please direct your attention to the video board as we look back at the fantastic career of Mr. Tim Couch.
see a kid like this.
I've seen the proof, I know the truth. This is what I was made to do. I was born for this.
Very unique football player.
With the E. Hall of Fame, the name is for one reason. I'm a legend.
Tim Couch.
The best high school quarterback in the nation.
Tim Couch.
Mr. Tim Couch.
I'm a legend.
I guess I just think about it and I hope that I can be where they're at someday. And, I'm definitely going to work as hard as I can to get there. And if things go right, I think I will be.
I'll give you something to believe in. Got to show you now that it's more than just a feeling. I was born a legend.
Couch was concerned with nothing but winning.
Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know.
For the first pick of the new Cleveland in the 1999 draft, the Cleveland Browns selection is from the University of Kentucky, quarterback Tim Couch. This is the young man from a town of 350, Hyden, Kentucky. And from that small town, Tim Couch has proven himself at the University of Kentucky. He's made everyone in the community and the state proud. And now he is the first player selected ever by the Cleveland Browns. It's a wild ride, but I think he has his feet on the ground. We spoke with him a little bit last night. And by the way, he is the president, at least in Cleveland.
I'm a legend. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for the battle. 'Cause you know I was born. I tell you I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now.
Couch on the run, 10.
I was born for this.
What hasn't Tim Couch done?
From the time he saw varsity action as an 8th grader, football fans across Kentucky knew Leslie County quarterback Tim Couch was going to be special.
To go out, to finish my high school career, my final home game here in front of the home fans, to break the national record, to win a regional championship against Belfry, you couldn't sit down and wrote a better finish, to somebody's high school career, and it's definitely a great way to leave for me.
What will? I might find some pads myself. So at this time, please welcome two guys that are doing more to bring attention to Leslie County athletics than anyone I've seen in a long time, and they're the driving force behind this project today. Mr. Allen and Jerry Rice, hosts of the Eagles Nest.
Morning, everybody. I had a million things I wanted to say today, but Tim had an incredible idea. We've been after him for a while to do an interview with us for the Eagles Nest. You got any fans in here for the Eagles Nest? All right. So this was Tim's idea. So he's going to get interviewed by Jerry Rice, not NFL legend Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice from Hell for Certain. So we got a few questions, and he wanted to involve the kids today. So we've got some kids going to ask some questions. So, Tim, are you ready? All right.
Sit here.
All right, Tim, we finally got you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome home, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you did for this. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you for all that you did for us and being so kind to me and Jerry here. Let's get this thing started. Let's go all the way back, man. So I was 3 years behind you. I had a front row to this whole show. Jerry and I and a few people in our peer group, we were first ever fans. So take us back to the Hyden Raider football.
Oh, you're
days.
going way back.
Yeah, I'm going all the way back. Now, you was no more as a basketball player back then, but let's talk about that.
You know, passion for sports for me started at an early age, like you said, being in Hyden Elementary, and my brother was 4 years older than me, so I always looked up to him and was competing with Landry and his older friends, and just trying to, just playing basketball with those guys, playing football, whatever it was. I was so competitive. I wanted to be as good as those guys so bad that they were a big motivation for me as a young kid. But I just remember having so much fun with my friends, and had some really good coaching there, and it was a great start to my athletic career at Hyden.
Awesome. I'm going to let Jerry ask you a few questions.
Well, first of all, Tim, it's an honor to be sitting next to you. It's kind of a surreal moment, a little bit nervous, to be honest. But when did you realize that football was going to be your calling growing up?
It took a while because, like Alan said, I consider myself a basketball player, and growing up in the state of Kentucky, I think every young kid dreams about going to the University of Kentucky and playing basketball, and that's what I wanted to do as well. My biggest motivation for playing football was my brother, and he was a quarterback ahead of me, and I was his backup on the varsity when I was in 7th and 8th grade. So I got a front row seat to watch him and watch how he worked and watch the dedication that he put into the game. And he certainly inspired me to want to be a quarterback as well. So, really early on in my high school career that, I thought football was just kind of something I was going to do on the side, and I was going to really be a basketball player. But about after my sophomore year, I figured out that, football was going to be my ticket. And, in basketball, I was averaging 37 points a game. So I was doing okay over there as well. But football became my passion probably around my sophomore, junior year of high school. Was fortunate enough, some of my coaches spoke here tonight, Coach Little and Coach Brashear. They had such an impact on me early on in my career. And obviously Mike Whitaker, I truly don't think that I would have become the player that I became if it were not for Mike Whitaker. And, everyone knows Mike was a great football player here at Leslie County himself. He was an unbelievable player in college at Eastern Kentucky, where he played for one of the winningest coaches of all time in Coach Kidd. So when Mike came back home to coach me, I can't tell you how fortunate I was to have a guy who had lived what I wanted to do, be a college quarterback. And he came back here and he taught me like a college quarterback when I was a young kid. So he was teaching me to read coverages and go through progressions and change plays and do all that. And I'm so thankful for Mike and everything that he did for my career. And he made a huge, huge impact on me. So, Mike, I really appreciate you. Thank you.
You was speaking about being a backup for your brother in 7th grade. Walk us through what that's like coming out as a 7th grader and practicing, knowing your brother is just a superstar, right, and you're trying to follow that.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure because, like you said, I was in 7th grade and I would come up here and practice with the varsity team. And, but I really I loved the challenge. Like I said early, when I was a young kid, I was always competing with my brother and his friends. So I was used to competing with older kids. I got a chance to be the starting quarterback on the JV when I was in 7th and 8th grade, and I backed up my brother on the varsity. And, like I said, just getting a front row seat I had such a great role model in Greg and the example he set for me every day. As a young kid, it had a big impact on me because I was like, oh, this is how you have to work to be a starting quarterback on the varsity. So, I watched his leadership skills and, how he would, just how he would carry himself. As a younger brother, I was watching every move he made. So he set a great example for me. And, it was great for me to have that experience as a young 7th and 8th grade kid to be a part of the varsity and be able to dress and go to the games and be around the team and watch how the guys worked and prepared to get ready to play every Friday night. So it had a big impact on me.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Well, Tim, thanks for answering that question, because that was the next question I was going to ask you. What impact your brother had on you? Listening to Mike and Coach Little, we've been around Mike here since he's came back as offensive coordinator now. Who ran the toughest practices, him or Coach Little?
Ooh, no, that's a tough question. Coach Little ran some tough practices. Now I remember those two-a-days where we'd be running up the hill here in full pads with our helmets on. Yeah. I don't know if we could have got away with that stuff these days, Coach, that we were doing back then. But they were both very tough practices, and I loved growing up here in Hyden and Leslie County and being a part of these sports programs here. Like I said, we had so many great coaches. And coaches have the ability to impact young kids' lives, not only as athletes but as young men as well. And I was so fortunate to be surrounded by some good coaches and some good men that taught me the right way to not only go about approaching the game and be an athlete, but how to treat people correctly as well, and be a good person in the community. And just so thankful for all those coaches that I had in my life at an early age.
Yeah. Well, we all know how Mike is. He's a hard guy, and he coaches hard, and that's evident in your success.
Well, let me just tell Landry here. I know if you're ever wondering if Coach Whitaker yelled at me like he does you, just know that he did. I promise.
I don't think he's changed though.
He hasn't changed a bit.
He may have got a little bit louder, honestly. Just the vocabulary. All right. So Tim, you have some very impressive teammates here at Leslie County High School, and we shared a mutual friend in Scott Brock.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what he meant to us. Yep. There's a story, and we just recently got to tell it here on the Eagle's Nest, Paul Melton.
Right.
So Paul Melton, do you ever sit and think of the magnitude of what you guys were able to accomplish while you were here, and then go on to have the careers that you guys did? Paul being a retired Navy SEAL.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing, coming from this small town that, we had so many people at that time that went on and had so much success. And I think we were just a very driven bunch. We were all pushing each other to be better, and we were all so competitive that, it drove each other to have a lot of success. And, you mentioned Scott, and I think everyone remembers, I'm sure the young kids don't, they weren't born then, but, my best friend, Scott Brock, was in a car accident when I was in college with a couple of my UK teammates, and we were as close as friends can get, and I miss him every day. And then my friend Paul Melton, who you mentioned, went on to be a SEAL Team 6 member, recently retired, and just the elite of the elite, one of the greatest warriors that's ever lived. And I'm just so proud of all my teammates that I played with, Coach Ed, Dan Baker, Rick Hensley, all the guys that I had around me, and it was they made the football is the ultimate team sport. I don't accomplish anything without great coaches and great teammates. So I'm so proud of this statue. And, when I look at that statue, it reminds me of what we accomplished as a team, not what I accomplished as an individual. And just let me say thank you to all the great Leslie County fans. When I was here, you guys were so supportive of our football team, and this stadium will be completely packed every Friday night. And you guys were a huge motivating factor for us and all of our success. And, we accomplished things that have never been done before in the history of high school football, right here on this field. So, I'm just so thankful for the teammates that I had that allowed me to go out and play at a high level. And, it was a great run that we had. It's so exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's great.
Tim, what advice would you, as you look into the crowd, and not only to football players, but kids in general, what advice would you have or give them to be able to reach the dreams and their goals like you have and be that successful?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think also, when I look at that, when I see the statue, and it also, I hope that young kids will look at that and maybe get some inspiration to say, you don't have to, be an athlete. You can be whatever you want to be in life, but you have to approach it a certain way. If you want to be great at something, and Coach Whitaker hit a lot of great points on that, you have to do the extra work. Just coming out here and going through practice for a couple hours is great. You can work as hard as you possibly can for a couple hours, but if that's all you're doing, to improve and be great, you're never going to be great if that's all you're putting in. You have to put in time away from this game. You have to study. You have to work on your mechanics. You have to do the little things when no one else is looking, and that's in every aspect of life. No matter what business you're in, whatever degree you're going to get in college, you have to do the little things right, and you have to be dedicated. So I hope the statue reminds the young kids of Hyden and Leslie County and all of Eastern Kentucky that it doesn't matter what you want to do in life. You can accomplish it if you have the right mindset. Success is 90% your mind. Coach Whitaker said, there's guys that were just as talented as me that didn't succeed. And my mindset was I was going to squeeze every ounce of talent I had possible out of my body. I was going to leave no stone unturned. I was going to put in every ounce of work that it took. And at the end of the day, if I made it, I made it. If I didn't, I said I put everything I had into it, and I would have no regrets. So I think if everyone, the young kids would approach that and whatever they want to do in life, I think that would be a great way to a great mindset to get into.
One quick thing, that was when mostly Alan had this idea, but when we come up with this for the statue, that's the inspirational thing about this for each kid when they come down and look at that and say, I can be that, or, I can do whatever I set my mind to. And that's a perfect message for you to give these kids here today.
Thank you. Oh, great stuff, man. Got one last thing for you, Tim. Famous people in your contacts list. You got Peyton Manning in there?
I do.
All right.
Yes. We're not going to call him, are we?
Could you ask him a question for us?
Sure.
Does he know that the Osmond brothers done Rocky Top?
He does, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Remind him they sing it better. Can you do that for me, Jerry?
I will. I'll send him a text and tell him.
All right. Good deal. All right. So we're going to turn it over to some of these football boys. Who's first? Raise your hand. Sparky. Come on up here, man. You ain't getting off that easy.
I'm Jeremiah Sparks. I'm a freshman here at Leslie County High School, and I was just wanting to know what your pregame ritual was.
Pregame ritual, that's a good one. I think it's, for me, I was kind of one of those guys that would kind of sit in the locker room quietly and think about what I had to do. There's always different types of personalities in the locker room. You got guys that are so fired up, they're ready to sprint down the hill and get out here. And I was one of the more, I guess I had a more laid back approach to it because a lot of playing quarterback is cerebral, and you have to think about the game and process what you're trying to do and try to go out and execute a game plan. So I was more, just kind of going over last minute thoughts. If they do this, what am I going to do? And, just trying to get really focused in on the game, try to imagine certain plays and how I'd react to that, whatever the defense was showing. So just sitting around getting my mind right, maybe listen to music or something. Yeah.
Good job, man. Good job. Come on up, Braden Holland. This is our start middle linebacker, Tim.
Right.
Hello, my name is Braden Holland. I'm a sophomore here at Leslie County, and I was wondering how you dealt with all your college offers and what led you to choose UK.
Yeah, that's a great question. I had a lot of opportunity to go play at any school, and I was looking at Florida and Tennessee, Ohio State, Kentucky, and I think Auburn were my final choices. And at the end of the day, I originally committed to Tennessee. And I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody that, but I think at the end of the day, when I weighed all my options, that Kentucky was just was a better fit for me because I'm just being from this state and growing up dreaming of playing for the Kentucky Wildcats and just finally having that opportunity to go there was a lifelong dream for me. And it didn't work out so great my freshman year. I had a lot of adversity in that first year, but fortunately for me, they changed coaches and Hal Mumme and Mike Leach came in and they installed the air raid offense, which was very similar to what we were doing here with Coach Whitaker. So I felt very comfortable with that, and then that's when my career took off and was able to do some good things. So, but the college process comes down to not only how you feel, but weighing information from people you trust, your inner circle, your family. My brother played a big role in it because he had just went through the process 4 years before me. So he knew kind of how to deal with recruiters and talking on the phone with coaches all the time and kind of weighing the options about which school to pick. So he was tremendous help in that.
We know you were
Thanks,
there,
man. Appreciate you.
No,
I did not. No.
All right. Mr. Ryland Simpson.
Well, I'm Ryland Simpson. I'm a
junior at Wsgs. I'm nervous. But my question for you is, what are some things that help improve you during the off season and the season itself?
That's a great question too. I think for me, the off season I always took as an opportunity to work on my weaknesses. I think every player has weaknesses. It doesn't matter how great of a player you are. There's no perfect player. So I would always go to work on my weaknesses. What am I not doing well? And though you work on those weaknesses, and your game can really go to another level when you come back the next year. And I've always been really big into fitness and keeping my body in shape to go out and play and perform at a certain level. Just really focusing on just getting like I said, getting your body right and focusing on weaknesses and things that maybe you struggled with the season before. And really work on those. And I think that's how you become a better player over time, is just consistently working on weaknesses. Yep. Thanks, man. Nice to meet you.
Hey, can you give this guy a little advice on personal fouls?
Oh, personal fouls?
Yeah.
Has he racked up a few this year?
Over his career? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Tanner Estep. I'm a 5-year senior. And I just wanted to ask, when did you realize that, you were gifted, that, this is what you was going to do?
I think I realized it at a pretty early age. But as I kind of was getting into high school and things, I didn't realize, nationally how I was going to be able to compete with kids on a national level. So until probably my junior year of high school, I started going to a lot of camps. And, I went to Tennessee's football camp and Auburn's camp. And, I started winning MVP of these camps and things from kids all around the country and some of the other top players in the country. And I was thinking, if I can come here and compete with these guys, I can compete with anyone. So, that gave me a lot of confidence, just going to see other guys from around the country and what level they were playing at and what they were doing. So just, probably around that junior year of high school, I would say, is when I realized I had a good shot to do something special. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
All right. Look at this guy. I think you threw a few
touchdown passes his dad, that's for sure.
Yeah. He's throwing them now.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
My name's Landry Collett, and I was wanting to ask you, what is your favorite Leslie County High School football memory?
I think the first one that comes to mind would be the night we broke the national passing record for many reasons, but it was on this field. It was home in front of these great fans. We were playing Belfry in the regional championship. And to break those records here at home was special. Paul Melton, who we talked about earlier, caught the pass to break the record, and then we go on to win the game and beat Belfry and win the regional championship. So that moment was really special for me. Just so many great moments. It's hard to recall all of them, and we won. We were fortunate to win a lot of games, and I had the opportunity to play with a lot of great teammates. But that one probably stands out in my mind as my most favorite moment. Thanks, Landry. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, Tim. I think that's just about going to do it for what we're going to do. You ready to go take a look at this thing?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Joel.
So at this time, we need everybody behind the podium and all the senior football players, please make your way over to the statue.
All right, we have to remind you that we are on WSGS Radio and WSGS Facebook Live. We're here at Leslie County at the football field getting ready to unveil the statue that's dedicated to Tim Couch, and quite an honor. Turn it back over to our
White, Carmichael Masonry, and Roger Smith. Of course, the Eagle's Nest. Leslie County High School Administration, Principal Merlene Lewis, and Assistant Principal Athletic Director Mark Collett. One Stop Market, Flowers on Main, Hyde and Sleek, Robin and Philip Lewis, D Spur Photography, Dalton Spurlock, Renee and Estel Neese at Big Blue Smokehouse, Adrenaline King Blake Kemper, the Law Office of Couch and Fugit, all the Leslie County football boosters, specifically Kathy and John Jr. Bolin, Mary Clark, and all the private donors who made today possible. Let's give all those folks a big hand. While we're waiting, I'll tell you all a story. one of my favorite football memories, playing with Tim. Like I said, I didn't play much, but I was on the team. We were over at Knott County, and back then the skill players would go out and warm up, and us linemen would wait back around the locker room. Well, me and one of the guys were back and just throwing a ball around, and this little kid from Knott County came up and said, "Can I have your autograph?" And I said, "Son, why do you want my autograph?" And he said, "Well, I just want your autograph. You know, I'm kind of tall." So I got a little football and signed it, and he ran away and he screamed, "I got Tim Couch's autograph." So there's some little kid in Knott County, I guess he's probably 30 now, who has a fake Tim Couch autograph. So that's my claim to fame. Looks like they're about ready. At this time, we would like to present Tim Couch with a statue in his honor.
Hey, come on up here, Tim. Hey, before we unveil this, I want to thank Mr. Patrick White, man. You have done an incredible job. You have worked with us, and couldn't have done it without you, man.
Well, thank you very
so
much.
I think it would only be fitting if you and Tim cut this ribbon together.
Right, sure.
So you guys cut the ribbon, and we're going to have our high school seniors come and unveil it so we can step back and look at it.
All right.
Here you go, guys.
Sire? Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Give me just a minute here to get with the family.
All right, man. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready.
Guys, be easy with it. Watch out for the flags. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Man, it looks great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, I think that's going to be a wrap here. One thing I wanted to point out to you here, we paid a little bit of a special tribute to those teammates we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
So, just a little something for those guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Looks great.
All right, folks. Thanks, everyone, for attending this wonderful event. Let's give everybody one more big round of applause. And let's just say it's a great day to be an Eagle. Thank you.
Okay, students, hold on just a second. We're going to let the football teams go ahead, make your way out. High school, just hang on 1 second. Fourth period. Go ahead and go on to the first.
All right, looks like we're here at they finishing up the unveiling of the great statue made in honor of Tim Couch, a famous Leslie County, who was a wonderful athlete here at Leslie County. He also done great success at University of Kentucky football. He is actually recently inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, which is a great and wonderful accomplishment. We've had numerous speakers here today. We've had just great stories and great memories from Tim. And one of the things I really like about Tim is he's always seems to be a humble athlete. He always is thanking his teammates, his coaches. Even though he worked really hard, he always is very thankful and very appreciative of those that are around him, his inner circle, the ones that have pushed him to be the athlete he is today. And it's just a great honor to have him come back here and visit with Leslie Countyans, with fans, with just so many people that are so appreciative of all the hard work that he did, and such a. Of course, it's a great, wonderful facility here at Leslie County. They have a turf field. It's been built for a few years, and it's definitely a wonderful facility here at Leslie County. They also have a very nice eagle that's made out of, I believe, metal, and just a wonderful facility here. We've had numerous people here to interview Tim. Tim shared some great stories, and we definitely appreciate everyone being here and sharing with us in this great memory and great honor for Mr. Tim Couch, a famous Leslie County. It's always good to see someone who does good in the community. Even though they move away from here, they come back and they share in the success and memory here in Leslie County. And it's great to have all the coaches, players, fans here. And it's a great and wonderful thing. Of course, as always, we're always thankful for the people behind the scenes here at WSGS who were, especially Mr. Michael Dwayne and his crew, who always do such a great, wonderful job filming, and the sound is always great. And, of course, if you're joining us now at the Tim Couch statue unveiling here at Leslie County High School in Hyden, Kentucky.
All right, well, I'm here with, the roles have been switched. Usually Tim Couch is backed up to Greg Couch. Now Greg, his brother's backed up to Tim. Tim's been bombarded out there, but welcome back to Wesley County, Greg.
Thank you. It's great to be home.
What do you think about this honor?
It's incredible. I think it's just, it was a pretty special time when Tim was playing here. He played with so many good guys, good teammates and friends, and I'll never forget how the people treated him, and he was just, it's hard to believe it was real.
He alluded to the Friday night crowds, and I'll never forget that. I mean, on Friday nights to have all orange here one night and then all blue, that's just the era that you go through that's once in a lifetime.
It is, and I came back to every game I could. I was in school at the time, but I would come back on the Friday nights when we were in town and got to see a lot of the games, and the crowds were they were unbelievable, and they were, the whole hillside was packed, all the stands, the sidelines. It was a special time.
Oh, they were around the fence and everywhere. I mean, and then your two uncles, Mark and Herman Johnson, would be usually behind the goal post cheering them on every game.
Every game, yeah, they never missed.
You see them much?
I do, yeah, all the time. They still live in Jenkins, and they're back here quite a bit. They're in Lexington quite a bit.
And so good seeing your mom today too.
Yep. She's. This has meant the world to her, and I'm very happy that she got to be here. I wish my dad could have been, and he would have. He would have been at a loss for words too. But it's pretty special for a family.
Well, he was a staunch supporter. I know. I've been to many a ball game, and him in the crowd, and he was adding his 2 cents, both encouraging you guys as you played, especially basketball. But then he was on the officials as well.
Well, he was an official as well, so he got it. He got it and gave it back, I guess.
It goes both ways, doesn't it?
It goes both ways. Yep.
We appreciate you stopping by. Anything else you want to say as far as what this means to you, this event?
And I think I would just say, I know Tim already said it, but just a huge thanks to the people of Leslie County for doing this for Tim and for his teammates, and that special era. And hopefully, it's a reminder to these kids when they see it that no matter where you start, you can really do anything you want to do. You just have to have that right mindset.
You got to have that goal set.
That's right.
And I liked what all the coaches said. I mean, I'm sure they were sharing their memories of Tim, but they were challenging the football team that was right here in front of them as well.
Yep, great opportunity for that, and I think that's the whole purpose of it. It's not as much to honor one individual as much as it is a reminder that these kids have the world at their fingertips. You can really do anything. Reach out to the right people, ask the right questions, and there's nothing you can't accomplish if you're willing to pay the price for it.
And work those extra hours.
That's right.
And I like the way he gave his team, acknowledged the team. It is a team effort. It's one man. Yeah, he's getting the statue, but he wouldn't be that if it wasn't for the team.
Absolutely not. No, not in football. You can't have individual success without having great people around you.
All right. Thanks again. And Greg, I don't know if Kevin's watching or not, but he was for a while. He has to work.
Yep. Kevin's a good one. I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's doing well, and I got to see a lot of guys I hadn't seen in a couple of years here, so it's been a great day.
Good homecoming.
Good homecoming. Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. Greg Couch, Tim's older brother. Appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us. Thank you, John. All right. Back to you, Rodney.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate Tim's brother, Greg, stopping by and interviewing. Been interviewed by Mr. John, and we appreciate that. And hopefully we can get an interview with Mr. Tim Couch. Looks like he is approaching the field now, so John's looks like do an interview with him.
Here's the man of the hour. Yeah, it's a little warm out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little warm out here. Yes, it is. It's a hot summer day, but it's a beautiful day to be back in Leslie County and be around all these great people.
Did you work up this much sweat when you played?
No, I don't think so. This is, I get more nervous doing this kind of stuff than I do, performing in front of a crowd of 80,000 people. So, but it's so good to be back here and just truly honored and humbled by this.
Well, welcome home, and I tell you that is quite an honor to be able to come down this football field now on Friday nights and see that statue there. And I like the way you encouraged the kids.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I think, my success, I hope that it will inspire another kid to chase their dreams. I think, not a lot of people, would believe that I was going to be a number 1 draft pick in the NFL. But it's all about what you believe and the work you're willing to put in and the dedication. So I hope the young kids see the statue and think that they can achieve anything they want in life, and it'll inspire them to chase whatever they're chasing.
Well, those Friday nights will always be embedded in my mind when you were a senior. As I shared with Greg, all orange one night, all blue the next. It was just once in a lifetime.
It was a special time. I remember being in high school my senior year and I would come out of class and there would be Joe Paterno in the hallway, or all these Steve Spurrier, all these famous coaches were here all the time recruiting, and it was a great time, and just my teammates and I just really loved it. And we were so motivated. Like we talked about the crowd size earlier. The crowd, the whole hillside would be packed with people. The track would be full of people, and as a player, when you come out and take the field in front of a crowd like that, it's so inspirational, and certainly my teammates and I felt that support from our community and our great fan base here.
Maybe this is what our players need before a big game like tomorrow night with Clay County.
I wish, I was hoping I could get down here and do it for a game, because I know it would have been, a lot more fun to have that atmosphere of game night. But, my son is a freshman in high school right now, and he's playing football at Lexington Christian Academy. So I'm busy on Friday nights, and then my oldest son he's a freshman in college. He plays football for Holy Cross up in Boston. So I'm busy on Saturdays as well. So the weekends in the fall got real busy for me this year. So we had to do it on a Thursday, unfortunately. But I think it turned out great, and I'm thankful for everyone that came out for it.
The rain's held off. I know the sun's a little bit warm, but beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Yeah, couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah.
All right, Tim, anything else?
I just want to say thank you to all the fans that have supported this program and make it what it is. They travel wherever this team goes, and they show up every Friday night and pack the stands and support this football team and this program and these kids. And just like I said earlier in the speech, that you're just thankful for the teammates I had a chance to play with here, and the great coaches I had an opportunity to be with while I was playing here. And it was a heck of a ride. It was a lot of fun, and one that I'll never forget.
A lot of good memories.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. And thank you. Rodney, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Great interview, John. We definitely appreciate Tim stopping by and speaking with you about just his fond memories of Leslie County and just the inspiration he's given to kids and youth. And what I like about Tim is he's always he makes it kind of about the team and not about him. And he definitely encourages the kids how important it is to work hard in life and just to be successful. It takes a lot of hard work. You can't just sit by and hope and dream that it's going to happen, but you got to put in the hard work. And we definitely appreciate this great event today. We appreciate John and all the crew here for everything they've done. At this time, we're going to, I think, end the show. Thank you very much.